An unidentified body has been found in Peradeniya. The body was discovered in the woods near the Marcus Fernando Hall at the Peradeniya University. Several scouts who were on an excursion in the area had found the body, which has not yet been identified. The Peradeniya police are conducting further investigations into the matter.
Now moving into the political sphere, an event was held in the Veeravilla area today under the auspices of UMP MP Sajith Premadasa.
The event was held to mark the 20th anniversary of Sajith Premadasa's political career in the Hambantota district. UMP party faithful in the district as well as a number of public representatives were present at the occasion.
I understand the sadness in your hearts. If any of you believes that I have not been able to fulfill my duties to you, then don't lose faith. Don't lose hope. You have not witnessed our true colors as yet. A large public force is being built around the 6 seats you have given me in this area. This is definitely a shining light in the darkness. We were beaten, we were thrown in jail, we lost our positions as organizers, we even lost our nominations. But we do not falter, we will not falter. If we want the UNP to emerge victorious, we need a new leadership, we need a new vision and a new message.
UPFA Western Provincial Council candidate Hirunika Premachandra attended a rally held in Avisavila yesterday.
Hirunika Premachandra's primary campaign office in Avisavila was declared open yesterday.
I am a 26-year-old youth. Even I like to hang out with my friends and have fun. I abandoned all that and chose politics because I have the need to fulfill some responsibilities that my father couldn't in his political journey. He had a vision to develop Colombo under the guidance of the president. I am ready to do this, and that is why I stepped into politics.
Now meanwhile, Western Provincial Council candidate SM Marika visited several temples and met with the Mahasangha yesterday and today.
SM Marika visited the ancient Pinwata Vihara in Dehiwala this morning and conversed with the Nayaka Thero. Afterwards, he visited the Sri Sunanda Rama Vihara and met with the registrar of the Shasanagara Balamandale of Dehiwala, Venerable Mausa Golle Lanka Nanda Thera. Yesterday, SM Marika visited the Atula Dasana Buddhist Center in Boralla and met with the Mahasangha there. While attending school and even when I was heading the Sirasa FM, I maintained a close relationship with the Reverend monks. Therefore, I decided I should obtain their blessings and advice before I start my campaign for the provincial elections, because the monks in these temples have a better understanding of the people in society than do politicians.
And it's time now for the newspaper cartoon of the day.
Tonight on our 6th episode of our special segment Newsfirst Explorers, we look at one of the most extraordinary yet unbelievable incidents which took place during the Dutch era.
Newsfirst Explorers, discovering Colombo's hidden secrets.
Would you believe for a second if you were told that Colombo was attacked by a wild elephant? Well, you better, because it did on the 27th of November in 1751, when a tusker made its way from the jungle area of the Berry Lake and launched an attack on the Rotterdam Rampart, which is now a popular cinema hall in Colombo.
The attack, which was launched at about 2 a.m., claimed the life of a Dutch guard and the arm of another. According to official reports of historical Colombo, they managed to drive away the wild elephant at around 5 a.m. and were able to capture it by around 3 p.m. the same day. However, the man-made fence could not hold down the tusker and it fled into the woods. Through this incident, the geographical landmarks of Colombo could be identified up to a certain extent and verifies that the north, east and southern parts of the city were covered in lush forest. This elephant sanctuary today is the Royal Colombo Golf Course. Records also suggest that our colonists would capture elephants as a sport. Newsfirst explorers were then drawn towards finding the changes that have been made to certain areas today. The street named Canal Row remains unchanged, but instead of a street, there existed a canal which flowed in this location. Further east of Canal Row Street was York Street, which also remains unchanged. What was then called Cornard Street is Bailey Street today. The popular Chatham Street was changed to its current name from Beer Strat.
The building that they erected in central Colombo had special characteristics such as large windows and thick walls. Some of the walls were around 5 feet in thickness. They used a lot of wooden furniture, and it was during this time that a number of words such as Almara entered our language.
Tomorrow on our expedition, we take you to the Plains of the Wolves.
If you have details on Colombo that you wish to share with the Newsfirst, you can log on to our website www.newsfirst.lk/explorer.
And in your business news, it looks like more and more people are looking at discovering Colombo's secrets, as the latest government statistics reveal that tourist arrivals in the country have increased by 32.6% in January this year.
According to the statistics released by the Sri Lanka Tourist Development Board, a total of 146,575 tourists arrived in Sri Lanka during the past month. When comparing the figures with January 2013, which stood at 110,543, a percentage rise of 33.6 can be witnessed. A majority of the tourists that arrived in Sri Lanka originated from England and Western Europe. The second highest number of tourists were recorded from the South Asian zone, with most tourists arriving from India. Meanwhile, the arrival of tourists from China during the month of January has also increased by 223%.
What I feel is these numbers are immaterial. The most important part is the amount or the revenue we collected from the tourism. We have to focus on the structure of tourism. Most of the people are coming from Asian countries and the Middle East. And most of the people, they are from Indians. So the country should focus on rather Asia. The developed countries like USA, Japan, whatever the European country, then only we can earn more from tourism.
Up next is Action TV.
The Mahawali project was given birth with the intention of making the country self-sufficient in rice. Its aim was to bring in farmers to the Mahawali lands and providing them with water required for their agricultural purposes. Accordingly, this project also saw the creation of new towns and villages. These towns were not merely created for commercial purposes, but were created highlighting the importance that the general public needs to be free of physical and mental stress. Incidentally, the parks that have been created in every town in all 7 Mahawali zones are evidence that the towns were created taking into account the future and the changes that take place in modern day society. The park that was created in the Girandrukote town, a town that rose with the Mahawali project, was acclaimed for its proper maintenance from 1982 to 1994 from amongst all the other parks that were built in the 7 Mahawali zones. The responsibility of maintaining this park was vested with the Mahawali authority. However, since 1994, that responsibility was vested with the Zonal Samurdhi Welfare Association. This Zonal Samurdhi Welfare Association, which has been marred with political intervention, not only evades from fulfilling its responsibility, but have also completely neglected the statue that was declared open at this park by the late President J.R. Jayawardena. This statue was built to commemorate the services rendered by Captain C.P.J. Seneviratne for the Mahiyangane electorate, which is located in the Girandrukote area. Taking notice of the current status of this park, the public even fears walking across the park.
This park is now neglected. Those days there were workers here who cleaned this park. Now it is just neglected.
On the 15th of August 2006, Action TV highlighted the attempts made by the Mahawali authority to distribute parts of land that have been neglected as commercial property amongst their associates. Newsfirst provincial correspondent who reported on the incident was also assaulted by officials of the Mahawali authority. The incident that led to the assault was that the equipment of a Aralaganvilla playground were removed and the land was to be sold off as commercial property. The officials from the Mahawali authority who halted their attempts to sell off the Aralaganvilla playground now have completely neglected it and let it go to ruin. Incidentally, even after decades of creating such infrastructure facilities for the farming communities, isn't turning a blind eye to maintain them an insult to the farming community who work tirelessly to keep our country self-sufficient in rice. Minister of Irrigation and Water Resources Management, this is over to you.
And now in more local news, today's U report is by Dimesh Adhikari from Polgahavela.
An accident occurred at about 6:30 in the morning along the Colombo-Kurunegala main road in the Kapuaran area. The accident occurred when a bus travelling to Kurunegala from Colombo collided with a van. The van was severely damaged in the accident.
On Sports First tonight, Minister of Sports Mahindananda Alutgamage says that Sri Lanka cricket abstained from voting on the ICC proposed draft with his permission. The minister, however, said that details of that process cannot be revealed to the media.
That's right. Now, meanwhile, issuing a media release this evening, Sri Lanka Cricket said that an emergency meeting of the Ex-Court took place today and that the members of the Executive Committee had unanimously endorsed the decision to abstain from voting. The release adds that considering the circumstances, it was most appropriate to obtain time to consider the revised proposals put forward by the ICC.
During a meeting called for by SLC last Wednesday regarding the ICC's draft proposal, it was decided that Sri Lanka need to stand against it. This was also approved by Sri Lanka Cricket. However, during the ICC meeting on Wednesday, Sri Lanka abstained from voting.
The Secretary of Sri Lanka Cricket called me 10 minutes before the session and briefed me on a certain issue. He told me that Pakistan was also prepared to abstain from voting. So he told me that we will be the only ones who will be voting against it. Therefore, we were faced with such a situation. So I gave them permission to discuss and approve the proposals that will favor the country financially and abstain from voting.
However, after being grilled by the media, the minister accepted the fact that he was not fully aware of the contents of the draft proposal. The minister added that the advantages and disadvantages of the draft proposal will be studied in the future. However, Dr. Prasanna Pereira from the University of Peradeniya alleges that SLC and the Sri Lankan authorities followed double standards regarding the matter of the ICC's draft proposal.
In this process, what sort of procedure did SLC follow when discussing matters with the other boards of cricket? What SLC did was create an emotional rift. You cannot seek answers via emotions. There needs to be a direct approach to this issue.
The Socialist Students' Union criticized SLC's move to remain silent at a very important and crucial moment. Issuing a communique, it said that the officials from SLC who were present at the ICC's meeting on Saturday are representatives of the country. The communique reads that as a result, what should be made clear at the meeting is the stance of Sri Lanka and not personal feelings. They allege that there are suspicions that the present government also played a role in personal gains.
And that's a wrap of Primetime News at 9. I'm Stephanie Lazarus.
And I'm Madhushka Balasuriya, wishing you a very good night.
At 9. Hotline 0114 896 896 www